Sorry about that. Get you guys partnered up for scripts in the breakout room. All right, so we'll need probably 2. Perfect. Here. Good morning, Brenda. Thank you for joining us. Did those TVs turn off? Nope. My computer's just going slow. All right, everybody out there in Zoom land, I'm gonna get the my screen shared for you guys. Just when it comes up, can I just get an audible that you can see the PowerPoint here when I put it up?
I can see it.
Awesome, thank you so much. All right. Okay, let's see, how are we doing on time? 1 more minute, everybody, and we're gonna get started. We did get a few more additions over here onto our Zoom page, our Zoom channel, and so that is great to see. All right. So just like I had told some folks before, this is a perfect time before we get started to have a device with you that you can get into Command. You can actually work on it, because we're going to be doing some actual hands-on stuff today with talking about Command and some best practices there. Welcome, come on in. There also is a student guide that goes along with this class. If you don't have a student guide and you're sitting here with me, I have a whole stack of them over there. If you are on Zoom and you don't have a student guide, you can go over to kwconnect.com and find this Ignite class, and you can download it there. There's a good chance that Cheryl also emailed it to a lot of folks. So if you need a digital version, they're all online as well. We're going to get started here in just a moment.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The Zoom link or the guide links? All right. Let's give it up for Cheryl. She's the best, our agent services manager. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes. Thank you again, Cheryl. You are the best. She honestly makes my life so much easier in so many different ways, and for so many agents in this office. And with that, we're going to get started. So thank you all for joining me here today, in person, on Zoom. I appreciate it either way. If you don't know who I am, my name is Steven Lisio. I'm the Market Center Tech Trainer here at Keller Williams Downtown and at Keller Williams Advantage. What that means is I get to help you with everything that you want to do with Command and technology, almost in general. I work mostly in Command with agents, talking about their models and systems of success. And today we're going to be going into talking about marketing. which luckily Command has a really good, has a really good way to help you. There's so many pieces of Command that can help you do what we do inside of marketing. But first we need to start off with really understanding what marketing is, knowing the difference between marketing and prospecting. We're going to take a look at some of the different methods that have worked in the past that people talk about now. We're going to identify the characteristics, the pros and cons of and how to use different marketing at different times. Now, through this, we are going to make some marketing pieces, because like I said, we're going to get into Command today. We're going to jump in there and make sure that you actually leave with a piece of marketing today that we want to create. We're going to do some other activities too that are kind of cool. In the first part, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll get on to some scripting and talking about some more stuff inside of Command. So we are going to talk about designs today. We're going to talk about campaigns, free campaigns, and contacts. Talking about contacts and how to utilize those today. All right. So like I said, to start, we want to talk about the basic definition of marketing. And marketing is a tool that should enhance your prospecting, because they are two different things. Marketing is a tool that should enhance your prospecting. Think about that for a moment. And that they are two different things, prospecting and marketing. Now, we have lots and lots of ways. We have lots and lots of ways to set up marketing. We're going to be talking about this first part from Spark. How many took the Ignite section of Spark? Anybody in here? Jen? Anyone else? Nice. So a lot of this, you guys have seen parts of this already. And so let me just ask you guys, the class or on Zoom, if you're on Zoom, feel free to unmute and answer this question. I'm going to be asking lots of questions, and so you guys are going to have to just jump in and interrupt. But what is marketing? Summarize what marketing is. So for you in Zoom land, Brenda said, getting your business to the people out there. What else? Outreach. And on Zoom, we have somebody saying conveying the services available. Awesome. Casting a net. Anything from over here? You guys are still getting your coffee in, huh? That's okay. We'll get your participation. We will get it. Oh, man, it is a lot handling both Zoom and in person. I'll tell you guys, thank you guys for being patient with me while I try and get good at this. But right now, I'm not. Yeah, next. So marketing is a lead generation effort. We're trying to bring business in. But this lead generation is different than prospecting because this is passive. What does the word passive mean? Without an effort. We don't actually have to physically stand at the billboard and swing the sign around. The billboard just stays there and is a piece of marketing that is passive. But just like a billboard, it is often pretty capital intensive, money intensive. It's expensive to do marketing because it is passive, opposed to prospecting, which is an active activity and is generally free, right? Prospecting doesn't usually cost you much money to pick up your phone and start making calls, but it takes your time. And those are your two big differences there, is passive and active. Passive and active. Right. Make sure I'm keeping up with my slides. No. All right. So for the next, about 30 minutes to an hour, we're going to be talking about prospecting versus marketing. As you can see up there, we're going to think the think deeply part about marketing. I got some great examples for you guys to check out, and we're going to talk about what makes them good, what makes them bad. When do we use these kind of examples? We're going to take some action, like I said, build some stuff inside of Command, hit some ahas, and then we're going to build a daily success list. That's one of my favorite parts of this class, is that by the end of the class, you'll not only have the command piece that we have, building a little marketing piece, but we will also build a success list, a daily success habits list, instead of a to-do list, because that's to-do lists are things that we should, or that we have on our to-do list, and we're going to make a should-do list, or like they call it here, a daily success list or a habits list. There's lots of ways to go about it, but I'm going to give you guys, for some of you, it's going to be reminders. Because some of you have been agents before, you've been through this class. It's just going to be reminders of some very basic stuff to make sure that we're doing in our business. That I'll tell you that if you just did the things we talk about today, you will cap. You will sell the amount of homes to cap in a year in our market, I promise. But it's not easy. It's not easy to do those things. So before we get started, are there any questions from Zoom land, from anybody here sitting in front of me? Nothing? All right, guys. You guys are making my job a little too easy. So let's check this one out. I like this slide a lot. This is the first slide that I actually want you guys to take a look at and focus on. So this slide here gives us a nice picture of marketing versus prospecting, how they're different. What's one thing I didn't talk about before that you see up there?
You talk about results. Yeah.
Marketing is long-term results. Prospecting, opposed to that, is immediate, right? If I'm making phone calls and I'm talking to someone, I can talk to them right then and there and figure out what their timeline is, what their position is, opposed to somebody who's a long-term result from marketing that will be coming into me, but that's somebody who's going to call me. It might take them quite a bit of time before they actually call me through my marketing. There's lots of ways to market yourself. We're talking emails, we're talking Facebook, social medias, things like that. We're talking direct mail, we're talking all kinds of stuff when we're looking at these different ways to market to folks, but it's long term. You can't expect to do a post and get a buyer and close in 14 days after your first Facebook post ever. It's just not going to happen. That's not what marketing is. Why not, Mario? Because we don't live in that world. At some point, if you put enough work into your social media and enough time and you're directed and you're purposeful, I promise you, you can get to a point where you can put a Facebook post up and then have somebody contact you about it and close in 2 weeks on their next home. That happens all the time. It just doesn't happen off of your first post because, well, you're going to see why. There's a bunch of different stuff we're going to talk about today in marketing of why you don't just post something. You don't just get a billboard and that means you sell 100 houses in a year. I promise you that's not how it works. Those billboards aren't it. There's more going on. All right. Make sure I did all my stuff. Nope. Oh, this is my favorite question to even ask. What are some examples of marketing that you guys see out there? Good or bad? Give me some examples. I mean like real specific examples. Give me some specific examples.
Guy named Lundquist has got a big billboard he puts up all the time. It's like, I'm Jerry Lundquist or whatever the name is. And it's just like, I'm right here, help me, I'll help you.
There you go, Jerry Lindquist. If you guys have seen those in Zoom land. Well, I think we got a Zoom comment as well. Facebook sponsored ads. Yeah, how many people will scroll through past a sponsored ad every hour of every day, right? And one of your social media forms or another, almost every hour of every day. You'll probably even more than that, to be honest. They're pretty aggressive. What else? What about real estate marketing? What do we see in town of real estate marketing? I get postcards still. Postcards in the mail is what she said, what Jen said. What else? I get mine.
Call Jeff on the radio.
Radio ads.
There's a radio ad. It's like, call Jeff.
Brenda, what did you say? I missed what you had said.
No.
Emails. Gosh, yes, emails. What else? What's your least favorite marketing that you guys see? Telemarketers, right? Well, and we're going to talk about keeping yourself safe in that, where there is some stuff we do want to talk about. Create reminders for agents that there is a do not call list. There is whatever that NCLBATAQR. I don't remember the acronym. Sorry, guys. But The protections against automated messaging is basically what it is. Automated emails, automated messaging. You do have to get permission for those things. So using command in those cool ways does require permission. You can't just get a phone number and then start text messaging them every single day without their permission. We'll talk more about it. Don't worry. You guys all look concerned now. What was it? Oh, I just saw for the first time ever. This is my first time for a real estate marketing thing. I just literally saw this yesterday. I was at the dog park, and on one of the posts for the bags, for their, pickup of their doo-doos, there's a little sign right on top of it that said, call Jeff or somebody like that. Had their broker marker is just right on top. It was professionally made. It was like sponsoring little cleanups, and this is a little sponsored thing. It was real nice for real estate. I'm like, how many people walk here with their dogs that are homeowners every single day? How many people see this sign every single, that's right at the front of the dog parks? You have to like walk past it to even get in. Brilliant marketing. And I feel like dog folks are a tight-knit group that love each other. So if they're like, oh, dogs, yeah, dogs. I mean, that's all marketing is. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Where are the people that we should market to? Who are the people we should market to? And heck, if you like dogs, go market to the other folks that like dogs. It's that simple, right? So let's get into that. Let's think a little bit deeper about our marketing, because it's not simple to just jump in and be like, this is my marketing, because I'll tell you guys, you'll see hundreds of different ways to market. Hundreds and hundreds of different ways to market yourself, your business, your services, your value proposition. And you have to choose. You have to be able to choose and think deeply about what you're actually going to use. So let's jump in. Gosh, I wish that would work for me. And please turn your packet to page 4 in your packet. So the first one that is a real content page there, page 4. And you should see this big list in here. And there, like I said, there are dozens. And these aren't even the only ways to do it. And so taking a look at this list, you're reading through it all perfect. I see you're all reading this. In Zoom land, again, we're looking at the student guide that looks just like the page on the screen. That's page 4 of the student guide, just past the do not call warnings and all that. But as you read down this, go ahead and raise your hand and share if you've ever tried one of these. Jeff, which one have you tried?
Door knocking.
And then thumbs up, thumbs down, or in the middle on it?
The few times I've done it, I say thumbs up because of how many people I've reached out to, people I got to talk to. So it seemed like it was
beneficial. So you said door knocking, beneficial because it was efficient?
It seemed efficient.
Seemed efficient for it.
Time that was spent for the number of people I actually spoke.
Gotcha.
Physically fun.
Time spent versus number of people spoke to is a good ratio. Right on. What other things have you guys tried from up here? Nothing. I do not believe it. I know that you guys have tried more than just door knocking on this list. I know that you guys are in here. Open houses. Brenda said open houses. Classic. 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 You what? Try just one? She said I tried a FISBO. Right on, right on. Well, when you say try? All right. All right. And is calling a FISBO, is that prospecting or marketing? Prospecting. What about an open house? Prospecting or marketing? Could be both. Could be both. Remember our definitions of knowing the difference between them. Passive versus active. Are there parts of an open house that are active and you have to be there in person for, that are prospecting? Absolutely. That's the time you're open from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's your active piece of open house. That's your job at that point. Outside of that, and don't forget, outside means before and after. Parts of it are marketing. And parts of it are still prospecting because you're actively calling them. You're going and door knocking the neighborhood before the open house. Those are all prospecting activities versus marketing activities, which would be leaving that flyer for all the people that did not answer. That's marketing. Because then they can go back to that when you weren't even there and they can pull that off their door and say, oh, it looks like Jen stopped by and there's an open house down the street. And then they'll probably crumble that because that's what most people do. That's okay. That's just like you passing a Facebook sponsored ad and still going, huh, those glasses do look kind of cool. I need new glasses, obviously. And I get ads for glasses. But then I stop and I pause, and even if I don't like it, I just keep moving, but it's in there, right? The seed's planted. And a lot of marketing is just planting a seed, watering it with other marketing and prospecting. That's it, pretty simple. And so I want to talk a little bit about my experience with marketing. I was, as Jen mentioned before you guys started, I was previously on a team here at Keller Williams downtown. That team is still here, still awesome, still love the leader of that team and everybody a part of it. But one of their big pushes is to use social media in an organic way. But it was very tailored to specific things that you needed to do. Number of messages per week, number of posts per week, number of engagements per week. Really simple stuff, but it's hard to be able to do that. And one of the number one things I learned is that in marketing, there are only two real pieces that work the best in real estate. Very simple, two categories. This is all they are. I love it. Jeff grabbed his pen. This is something great to write down. Authenticity, consistency. That's it. If you want to be successful in your marketing, those two pieces are what can get you there. Authenticity, consistency. And so when we talk about knowing that bit right there, when we have this huge list, and I bet you guys could even add things to this list, especially people who are younger, and there are things I think that are missing on this list too. And so from a show of hands, put a 1 in the air if you think you should try as many of these as possible. And in the air means in the chat on Zoom. So put a 1 in the air if you think going at these, taking as many as you can, going down the list, doing all of these things. Put a 1 in the air. Put a 2 in the air if you think you should focus on 2 of them. Mario, is that a 2, or Mario went like this for those in Zoom land, so I don't know if he was saying 2. 3? 3 was not an option. So Jen just made a really great point, and I'm seeing a lot of people agree with you guys. I got all 2s from Zoom land. But Jen said, all seems too much, 2 seems too little. What do you guys think of that? Authenticity and consistency. Can you be authentic and consistent across 3 things? Sure, I believe you can. But if you're an agent who hasn't done 6 deals, I wouldn't try more than 2. If you can get really good at 2, be authentic, be consistent at 2 of these, you will find success. You will.
Where you are in the real estate world. And right now, I have to figure out what my 2 are, so I want to strive for it. But in like a year, maybe I will be 2, so maybe by then I'll know what my strongest are.
So to reiterate what Jen was saying, let me see if I can summarize this well for everybody out there. Because she's saying that right now she doesn't even know what she's good at. So she wants to try a few different ones and then hone it in maybe later and really focus on them. Now, is 2 or 3 an important number? If you've done a lot of Ignite, you've gone through the 1-3-5 process, or the GPS as it's also called. 1 goal, 3 pillars, 5 strategies a pillar. Those 3 pillars are what we're talking about here. Prospecting and marketing. Part of your marketing is deciding where you want to spend one of those time of pillars. And so if social media is your pillar, and you guys know what my number 1 pillar is always. Who knows what it is? Number 1 pillar for Mr. Stephen Lisio. Not tech, Mario, come on. For real estate business. I know. It's close, command's close.
Database.
Thank you, Jeff. Database.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
You're at Keller Williams, y'all. Database,
Never eat trouble
database,
stuff if you're on
database,
mute.
database. All right. I love database, and I think every new agent should focus on their database. That is up to them, but I do coach in that direction. Today's class will be focused in a lot of that direction because your database is your data bank. Ask Gary Keller if you've seen him talk about it. Every business is like that. And so we're going to talk a little bit now about actually diving deeper into this. And so I want you guys to go ahead and turn over to your next page, page 5. And you're going to see the questions up on the board. You're going to see the questions up on the board, or board, my past life, on the TV. You're going to see the questions up on the TV. And you guys on Zoom, in Zoom land, you can see up there. And we're going to talk through each of these questions. And so the first one up at the top, can I have somebody read that that's in here nice and loud so that my microphone picks it up here?
How do you know where the customer is and how do you meet them there?
How do we know where the customer is and how do you meet them there? Go ahead and write your response. You guys in Zoomland, same thing. Please write your response down on your paper or on a piece of paper. We're answering the first question at the top, just on our own right now, writing it down. How do we know where the customer is and how do you meet them there? How's that? I'm still seeing some people writing, so take your time here with plenty of time. Try and finish up the thought that you're writing now. I'm going to jump back into our discussion here in about 10, 15 seconds. We're going to go out to Zoomland first, see if we can get you guys to chat it up a little bit with us on your first response. All right, how about somebody from Zoomland? Will you share with us what you thought about this question? How do we know where the customer is and how do you meet them there?
I don't know. I just said customers are everywhere.
Love that.
And do I have feedback? I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
My dog's coming.
Okay, y'all.
You guys don't hear what she said?
All I heard was, I don't know what happened.
She said they're everywhere. They're everywhere. That's what Dave said. That's what he had as well. Anybody else from Zoomland want to jump in and talk a little bit about it? We're here. Oh, I got one more from Zoom. Who is that? I missed it.
It's Ursa. I was just going to say, in terms of database, Stephen, that just starting a conversation, asking questions. People love to talk.
I love that. Love that. Absolutely. talking database. Where do you find people? Talk to the people you already know, that know you, that know what you do. That's an easy one, right? I love that. That's why we talk about database so much. It's because we find it a lot easier to talk to people that we know, that like us and trust us, who have more of a chance to work with us than strangers. Can we work with strangers? Sure. $1 billion business is built on talking to strangers in this business. It's a pretty gritty grind. Anybody here ever call like FSBOs and expireds on a regular basis? Like every day for a full month? It's a trip. It's a trip. I'd rather do an open house every day for a full month, you know? And if that's your case too, those are questions you need to ask yourself. You don't have to do any of this. That's why I love this job and the marketing piece. You don't have to do any piece of it that you don't like, that you don't enjoy. Why would you? You're your own boss. Well, if you're on a team, you have to do what they say. So please do so. But I can't agree more with this one, where I think customers are where you look for them. If you want to find customers at the dog park, they'll be there. People need property, and in a place like this in Denver and Colorado, just in general, clients are everywhere, literally everywhere. They're wherever you look. And so find them in places that are purposeful. Find them in people that you want to work with. Find them with people who are buying and selling the houses that you want to buy and sell with them. Clients are where you look for them. I promise they'll be there. They're not every person where you look, but there will be clients. And that's prospecting, right? Actively sitting there and casting out, reeling it back in, casting out, reeling it back in. All right, question number 2. How do you communicate your value proposition? I love this one. So again, let's take another minute and go ahead in Zoom land and in here. Write down your answer to how do you communicate your value proposition. Is there anybody needing a definition of value proposition? Jen is. That's okay. That's okay. Keller Williams' vocabulary is tough to get. I'll probably say like 8 different acronyms that you'll be like, what? What does that even mean?
Is that what you bring?
Value proposition, what you bring. Yeah. What you bring to the table, what makes you, you. What is your value? There are 8,000 real estate agents, I think, in the state of Colorado. What is your value as one of them? One of 8,000, you need some value so that people will say, I would use you over one of the other 7,999 people that are there. What is your value proposition? How do you communicate? Give you guys a little time, another minute to write that down. You guys okay if I run up and go grab some water? Stay. DRB. You said you don't want it. Not allowed. All right, almost made it on time. Sorry, guys. I'll make it back on time. So let's get somebody from in here. How do we communicate our value proposition? Brenda, start us off.
By giving useful information, I usually like last week I did something about real estate and how I can get prepared before you buy real estate.
Love that. Showing your preparation and showing what you're doing behind the scenes. What else? How else can we communicate? You said social media, right? That's your venue, or that was your vehicle to communicate that, social media. How else can we communicate our value proposition? And you're utilizing social media for that as well. Remember, if you guys have heard us talk about social proof, Art Vasquez, his whole class, it's wonderful, great stuff to learn. But just remember that social proof and social media have a shared word. They're not the same thing. Social media and social proof often collide, do not have to. Social proof can exist everywhere. Social media came well after the idea of social proof, but it is often combined. So a convenient coincidence, but it is not an absolute definition that social proof happens on social media. We can do it in different places, but that's how you're using it though, right? Social media, posting up those just listed, just solds. Okay, what do you guys think? What else? Oh, I think we have some from Zoomland. Oh, I love this. Kendra said customers are, oh, that was from before. Ursa said testimonials. That's one way to do our value proposition, is have somebody else talk about us instead of ourselves. Any other value propositions?
I mean, I like the beginning you said before this, we talked about being authentic, being consistent. I think being authentic, being consistent, and kind of communicate that without really having to go do anything other than just being authentic.
Okay. Remind me of your name again?
Tyler.
So if you guys didn't hear that in Zoomland, Tyler was saying, be honest or be authentic, be consistent with your, I'm guessing like your message.
Yeah.
And
with the people around you.
Yeah, with the people around you to display your value, I would say somewhat naturally. Yeah. And really, that's what I believe is the most important part, is the authenticity part here. Because as we saw, some people are value proposition. The heck is that? I don't know what that is. And if you can't easily in one sentence spit out your value proposition of why you're the agent to go with every person that you know, like and trust, you should probably write it down. You need to be quick and be able to tell somebody in a sentence or two why it is you do what you do and what makes you different, special than any other agent. Because I can't say better, right? Maybe, I mean, we're all better than some agents. We've met agents that are like, I don't want to work with that person again. Generally isn't KW folks, generally. But we know who we want to work with. We know how we want to work. And your value proposition is exactly that, yours. So you need to figure it out. You need to think about what makes me special, what makes me different, what makes me stand out. How about the next one? Can I have somebody from in here read that one out for me?
Sure. How can you come from contribution? I'm sorry, how can you come from contribution or connect in a meaningful way?
Let's take another minute. Think about that a little bit. Come from contribution. Connect in a meaningful way. Write down your answers. How can you keep marketing in mind when we're doing this? This is a tough one, I think. Come back into Zoom range. This is a tough one, I think. Well, oh, go ahead. I can't remember what I was going to say. I'm just going to let you guys write. Thank you guys so much on Zoom for participating in the chat in there and throwing some answers in and jumping in with the class. I truly do appreciate your participation there. Thank you guys so much. We're going to pull up in just a moment to come back together. And gotta keep myself on time. Seeing a couple of pens still scribbling, so another about 30 seconds. Finish your thought if you haven't done that already. Try and get that whole sentence out if you can. All right, I know we still have a couple of folks finishing up. Go ahead and finish up there, and let's share. Anybody who wants to unmute or just jump in, how can you come from contribution or connect in a meaningful way?
Whenever you meet people, just see if there's anything that they like and just ask 2 or 3 questions deep about what they like.
Get to know them. I heard a couple of really great things there today. First of all, ask questions. I think part of asking questions and get to knowing what they like, you have to listen to their answers, right? Asking questions, listening. Awesome. I love that. How do you connect with people in a meaningful way? Asking questions. Absolutely. What else? Jen?
I wrote share information that matters to you, and it's also relevant to your employer.
When you say you mean the agent?
Yeah, like, I found an article about moving with a dog, moving with a pet.
Mm-hmm.
And like your steps you can take to make it easier for your pet. And I love dogs, so I figured, and it's not very big, especially if they all, there's like an organic,
Mm-hmm. So just for people who might not have heard Jen in the room or out there in Zoom land, I just lost my train of thought. Jen, give me your summary real quick. Summary of what you just said.
Oh, like sharing information that's
Valuable.
yeah.
I love that. And valuable to people who have guests that find value in those same things, like dog owners, right? Where you're kind of in that realm of who are we talking to, what are we saying? Talking to dog owners, teach them how to move with their pets. Love it. Add value to your conversation. And I think that is what comes into the from contribution piece. When we're coming from contribution, we're not asking for things with nothing in return. As one of the things that we have to keep in mind in marketing is a lot of folks don't like to give information or participate in things if they don't feel like they're getting anything in return. And if you're not coming from contribution, if you're coming from a place that's just always, I need more leads, I need more leads. And so I'm going to put this QR code on a sticker and put it all over town. And people are going to take pictures of it and they're going to come and work with me and I'm going to sell 100 homes this year because I put out 1,000 stickers around town. I hope you guys hear the sarcasm and facetiousness in my voice for that story, just a bit, Jen says. I am being a little bit facetious in my good friend who's a musician in town just doing that right now. But it's a different world of marketing for music, hip hop and things like that. And you got to do what you feel is best for your business. And so let's go on to that question here. How important do you think branding and aesthetic consistency is in your marketing? How do you achieve it? And guys, are you okay with us not writing this one down? Can we just chat about this one? I think this one's a good just a good one to chat about. What do you guys think? How important do you think branding and aesthetic consistency is in your marketing? Yeah, very important. Very important. What else? I buried the lead on this one, I think. What else? Very important. At least because I said the word consistency about 15 minutes ago and it's on the board there, so it's probably the right answer, right?
To go in depth, I guess, more so like the aesthetic consistency of your marketing. You know, if my marketing looks this way this week, and then it looks this way next week, and it looks this way, then somebody might not know exactly what they're looking at or what they're looking at. Versus if it looks this way this week, this same way the next week, the same way, the same. It's like, okay, now I want to look at marketing, just marketing. You gotta have that you're branding yourself.
You're branding yourself. What is branding, by the way?
Known quantity.
A known quantity? identification marker, a really hot iron that's on the back of a cow. That's where the word comes from, right? And we're trying to our business into their minds with our branding. But your branding, again, it's a funny analogy, I know. But that is what branding is. It's that we are trying to portray what people see about our business or ourselves. And that brand, like we said before, the more authentic it is, the easier it is to be in it. And when you are most of us are our own only employee. And so our brand is 100% represented by us. And if you're trying to do something you're not, and you're your only employee, how do you think that's gonna go? If you are not authentically your brand. Can you do it? Sure. There's lots of agents that grind through that mentality of just going through, and I'm gonna be that agent. They hate every day, but they're still successful. That's fine with them. Respect. I just don't want to work with that much grit. I like grace, not grit. And so I try and move forward with grace. And the real important question up here is, how do you achieve it? How do you achieve that branding or that aesthetic consistency in marketing? How do you do it? Having standards, a few bullet points that you always follow. I love that, having some standards for your marketing, at least aesthetically. Love that, Dave. What else? That's a good one to write down. Daily reminder of? But remember, aesthetic consistency, what it looks like. Our visual consistency is what we're just asking about here. I agree with you, the consistency of timing is very important. But visually, how do we make sure it's always consistent? I'm so mad nobody said that. Templates. Designs, command, come on, you guys. That's what I do. You're making a trash can. Embarrassing. Designs, we utilize a marketing tool that can help us. Templates are one way. You can pay somebody to do this as well. You can get somebody to build your brand for you and talk to you. And there's lots of great branding folks that work in branding and will talk to you and help you find your authentic you so that you can brand yourself. They'll do all the colors and everything. Or, that's expensive. That's like a $10,000 package for most branding specialist people of getting your brand off the floor. It's a lot of work for them. And so it's a 5-figure check that you'll write if you want somebody else to do it, which is why I love Command. Because we have like a branding specialist in there with professional designers, professional graphic designers making those templates for you, where then you can go in and edit small pieces. Well, change the red to a color you like more. It doesn't have to be Keller Williams red all the time. There's no affiliation with the colors of our branding with our brokerage. You don't have to be red, black, white. You don't have to do any of that. You can use whatever colors you like, and we can usually change them. You can set them up inside of Command so that you can save those colors, save those fonts, keep it consistent, because there are a lot of pieces of consistency when you start designing marketing on your own. Fonts, sizes, colors, looks, flow, all of them. But we're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk about designs later, but we have to keep moving. Do we have any questions? I feel like I'm leaving some blank stares here. You guys must just be super excited. Brand consistency builds brand recognition. Brand recognition builds brand trust. That's from Ursa in the chat on Zoom. If anybody's also out there. Now, our last one. What are we doing on time? Awesome. I love this one too. This one I do want you guys to write down. Last one on your sheet, page 5. How do/should you follow up with leads generated from your marketing? Write this one down. How should or how do you do it if you're doing it now? If you're doing open houses, you get leads in, how are you following up with them? Answer might be I'm not. Oh, it's not. And then that's when you answer should. If your answer is I'm not following up by leads, then how should you be following up with your leads? We have some people writing like 6 words. We have some people writing out their novel, first novel. Another 30 seconds or so, guys. Finish up that thought. How should you follow up? Lead generated for your marketing. All right. Karen from Zoomland says, command, text, and call. I'm guessing she means command as in our program, not like the give a command. Don't command your follow-up. Or sorry, not your follow-up. Don't command your lead gen or your leads and say, do business with me. That probably won't work. What else? What else are we doing to follow up with our marketing, our leads generated from marketing? Brenda? Woo! She's just sucking up saying, put it on a smart plan.
So excited.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. It's
Phone calls, direct text, direct email.
cool. Love it. Phone calls, direct text, direct emails. What else? How else? Jen.
Well, I wrote that, like, if you're at open house, you can take notes during the open house, so you have something to refer back to because how was the open house? Like, more often.
That's a long distance high five if you didn't get it.
And then I wrote that if we're doing like regular follow-up, like ads or things like that, so we should try to get.
Danny Terrazas and Wings. Love it. What else? Love it, Jen. Dave, give us another little tidbit.
The coolest thing when I realized when I could hire from, let's say, the marketing person, what I typically do is ask them what they're looking for, and then set it on the and I send them houses every day.
So you send them, what are they looking for? Send them houses every day. How are you sending those houses? MLS, are you like texting them, emailing? Emailing, so we're using emails to put them on a search strip. Love that as well. Send them the application for the lender. Love it, love it. It's very similar to smart plans and ideas, something like that, doing a safe search. And you said you're using the MLS to produce that for them and then emailing it to them?
Yeah, I can see as soon as they like something.
Love it, love it. All right, anything else? Oh, one more thing from Karen online as well. Says it doesn't really matter as long as you do it, as long as you follow up. How you're following up doesn't matter as much as that you're doing it. And I only have one takeaway on this question that I want you guys to take away. And it's something I've already said multiple times before. Consistently, follow up consistently with somebody. Like Day said, he does it every day. He sends them something. Consistency doesn't have to mean calling them, texting them, and actually putting your time in every single day or every single week. Consistency is utilizing the tools that you have, like the MLS. Day doesn't go in there and find homes for them. The MLS does that for them. Leverage your tools so that you can follow up consistently, whatever that means to you. But it has to be consistent. What you do for one lead should look the same for the next lead, and the next lead, and the next lead. And you'll start seeing how following up with people doesn't have to be much different, whether it's an open house, or an online ad, or a Facebook post. Following up with people looks pretty much the same every time in the structure, because it's usually just about time. What you say is up to you. And it depends on where that person's at. But the consistency, I'm going to call them in a week, I'm going to call them a month after that, and I'm going to call them every 3 months after that. Real simple, but it's consistent. And consistency is what builds business. And so we have to be consistent with our marketing. How are you guys doing right now in terms of a break? Do we need 2 minutes? You guys want to take a minute? It's 10:30 almost, or it's 10:25. Can we take a 5-minute break? Would that be helpful? We've been at it for 55 minutes. Great participation from everybody. So if you guys all want on Zoomland as well, 5 minutes. We're getting back here 10:30 sharp. We're going to be back going, and we are going to get started on the next section here. And so I will see you guys all back in 4 minutes now, 10:30. Grab some water, grab snacks, whatever you need. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Sorry about that, I didn't walk away. We are-
Not yet, not yet. We're taking a break. Oh, yeah, perfect time. Actually, how's the announcement break? We're coming back at 10:30. It's 10:27. So, if you need anything else after and stuff like that.
It's just showing up in my reports. It's still there. Yeah, no, I have
All right, y'all, it is 10:30. Thank you guys for being back here on time at 10:30. All of you on Zoom, I hope that you jump in very soon. We have a few people we're waiting for, but I like to respect the folks' time who are here and present. All right. Oops. Let me get you guys back on the right screen. Sorry. There we go. All right. And so today, or now, we get to start into designs. One of my, not least favorite, but I do like doing graphic designs. And so having that designer in there is fantastic for us to be able to utilize. And so now is, pardon me. Now is your time to pull out your devices, pull out your computer, your tablet. Oh, sorry, don't pull out your tablet. Little caveat there. Designs doesn't load on tablets. And so this is a computer only presentation right now. Jump on there. One of the main things that we want to make sure you've done before you really get into command and designs is making sure your marketing profile is up to date and ready to go. Command uses that profile extensively to grab information and to fulfill your marketing pieces automatically. And so I'm gonna have to stop my share from you guys real quick and reshare with you my command screen for ease of my own use. Oh no, oh no. There we go. Still. Okay. Thank you guys for your patience. Sorry about that, guys, on Zoom land. I promise I know what I'm doing. There's the screen I want to share with you guys. Okay. Gosh, all you guys are not visible except for me on Zoom land. Could I get an audible response that on Zoom land, you guys can see my command dashboard?
Yes.
Thank you, Ursa. I appreciate you. All right. So the first thing, we log into command, and we're going to talk about designs. And so if you haven't been in designs, I'm just going to do a quick overview of designs and kind of just mention some of the different things up there. You guys can't see it up here, can you? Okay, just give me a second. We got to straighten out the in-person Zoom stuff. Or in-person Zoom, in-person displays. No problem. I know where I'm going. Come on, don't play games with me. Okay, let's see. Out there in Zoom land, can you guys still see my command screen okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. We have a visual digitally, we have a visual in person. Okay. So let's go over our overview of designs, and I'll talk first about what I just mentioned, your marketing profile. So if you don't know where your marketing profile is, we're going to go through it right now. Go into settings. So click on your name in the top right corner, and that gets you into settings. And when this page loads, we're going to look over to the left side menu, and we're going to go to Connect Settings. Connect Settings. And then underneath the Connect settings, you're going to choose your marketing profile. And here you'll see a place to upload your photos, your team logo or your individual logo. It doesn't have to be a team. I am my own team, and that's my logo. Fill in your information about your licensure, about different things. If you're affiliated with the military in some way, active duty, reserves, veteran, military spouse, you can put that in and answer some questions about that. Update your bio. That's going to be something that you'll use on your website in lots of different places inside of your app and website. And then your brokerage information. Fill that out, put in your brokerage logo. If you don't have the brokerage logo, you should have received it, or you can email Cheryl, our awesome ASM, to get yourself a little packet of logos. Our legal ownership statement, there's lots of things. The only thing you need to remember in here is to hit the frickin' save button. I'll tell you how many people go in there and change their picture, and then Steve and I changed this 3-4 times. It doesn't work. If you don't see this window pop up that you're going to see in just a moment, you don't see that window, it's not saving a single thing. It'll even put your new picture in there on the screen, your new logo, it'll change everything in there. But if you don't hit save, it will not actually apply any of those changes to your profile. So make sure you see this box pop up, and you only get that box through hitting the save button, the very, very, very bottom of the screen. So just a little bit about the marketing profile. Now let's jump into designs. Designs is our paintbrush over on the left side. Another little quick tip for my newer agents. If you're finding it hard to know which app is which based on the icon, just click that red KW at the top. That red KW expands the tray so that you can actually read each name of the applet inside of Command. And we're going into designs. There's a good chance that your designs are empty on the screen. You're not looking at a bunch of different templates and designs like you see on my screen, and that's okay. You just don't have anything in your library yet. So go ahead and follow along with me and hit Create Design in the top right corner. We have 4 different options we can design in here. We have emails that have their own templates completely built out for you. These are HTML emails that look beautiful, have lots of different functions. There are over 80 templates inside of Command for those emails. Everything from just listed, just sold, open house, to Happy Thanksgiving, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, happy so many holidays that get put in there. And so be on the lookout there. There's luxury ones. There are a lot of cool email templates. I teach a few different classes on those, so please attend those if you're curious. Social and print will get us different sizes. So social sizes are ones that are squares, stories, and then rectangles. So long rectangles, tall rectangles, and squares. Those are your 3 social media sizes. There are a few more in there, like they have a big one inside there for like your Facebook cover, which is the big photo across the top of your business page or your personal page. And there's different ones like that in the social section as well. Print is my favorite one. That's the one I use the most. Even if it's just digital, I'll still use the print option because I get lots and lots of different options, and we're going to take a look at those now. So let's jump into print. And this page will load up inside of kw.webrand.com. So this page is it's not run by Keller Williams. This is not a Keller Williams created piece. It is outsourced into WeBrand, and that's where our templates and builder live. It is a pretty cool little program. So Jen just got the dreaded no authorization code in the request, which means what you need to do is clear your browsing history in Chrome, which by that you go to top corner, click on Chrome, clear browsing data, go through those steps. Then you need to log in to an incognito browser. So if anybody, Tyler's getting the same thing. If you're getting that authenticity error, go into an incognito browser. If you need to know how to do that on Chrome, you click on the menu button in the top right corner, and one of the options will be new incognito window. On my Mac, that's Shift Command N. On a PC, I believe it's Shift Control N for the new incognito window shortcut as well. You can see I am currently in an incognito window. Command does work best in the incognito window. For the most part, you don't need to worry about it. Designs is the #1 place you do need to worry about it. If I'm doing designs, I always go into an incognito window to avoid the authenticity errors, to avoid getting bumped out. There's all kinds of weird stuff that happens because it's trying to connect into your Facebook. Everything else that's connected into your normal browser is trying to connect as well. All right. Did you get Square, Jen, Tyler? You guys are in, at least onto the page that I'm on? Agent.kw.com. All right. What kind of marketing should we build, y'all? Ooh, I wish there was one of those in here. There's a letterhead. I believe the letterhead is inside of Business Basics and Letterheads. They're very basic letterheads, as you can see, but you can at least edit it, put in what you need to if you want to use that for your golden letter. Let's do something a little bit more fun. How about we take a look at a neighborhood snap? That gives us lots of opportunities. So we can see in the neighborhood snaps, there's a few different templates in there: door hanger sizes, standard postcards, standard flyers. And so when I talked about the print options, there are a lot of different print options in here. If we look at like just sold, there are plenty of different options across the top of how we can filter the results. So if we want to just see letters, we can see all just the letter size, 11 by 8.5. We go into open house, for instance, we can see a few different ones in there where we have some bifold templates for open house. Bifold meaning that's 18 or 11 by 17 and opens kind of like a big long book. Trifolds as well. Those are just your basic 12 or 11 by 8.5, but just designed so that you have 3 different sections in it. And so again, these templates are all editable, things that we can go in and change the colors, the positions, everything about them if we really like. There's only a few templates in here that you can't change pieces of. And those are ones that have like Gary Keller quotes and stuff on them. They won't let you change the text on certain things like that in some of the templates. So if you ever run into something like that on a Gary one, just be aware it's not you, it's everyone. They don't get to change it around as words. But these simple ones that you see me highlighting up here, 100% editable. From pictures to positions to text, 100% editable. Now, quick at the top, 3 tabs. Pay attention to these 3 tabs. And one I mentioned earlier is your assets. Your assets are what you can go in and save your branding for your consistency. We can choose color palettes. We can have multiple color palettes if we like, but having the colors that you want saved, using the actual hex code or the actual code to grab that color. This is all stuff I can help with on a meeting if you need help with it. But if you can do it on your own, this is where you want to come do it. And most importantly, put in some images. Branding is so visual. You can see I have my couple different headshots in there for different placements. I have some technology backgrounds that I use. I see a lot of agents put in like the Denver downtown backdrop picture that they like, or a mountain picture, or I know agents that work in the mountains, they actually use like their towns, big wide angle pictures of their towns that they'll save in here. Anything that you might use consistently, because these designs in your assets show up in every design for you so that you can easily just go and grab it and put it in. The text is similar. Save things that you're going to put into your designs a lot, like your phone number, your name, your app link, your address, your company name, all these things you see here. And a little trick, if you fill out your marketing profile, a lot of this stuff will just end up in there for you. And Command just automatically adds a lot of those in there for you. You can add your own if you'd like, but like I said, I use the ones that I use the most are like contact stuff when you're editing different things, because you can actually just flop in part of your text into the general text that's already in there and just hit a button and it flops it right in. And so building out a couple of ones that are like just your name and then also ones that are like name, email, phone number will save you a lot of time to have a couple of those templates in here. Logos, same thing. Put your logos into Command. You can see I have so many logos. I actually built folders for my logos so that I can do that. You can see there's a little folder button at the top here. Have my downtown logos, have my logos for Advantage in here. And then I have my personal logos as well so that I can have backgroundless images, white. I suggest having a couple colors of your logo. I actually have a couple different even elements. You don't need to use the elements. You can just use the logos. Elements do open up another file type. If you know about graphic design, it's something you're interested in, I can go into the details with you personally of how elements differ. But you can see I just have some smaller elements from my logo that I can add some more branding. If you saw the other logos, there's a pine cone on it. And I have some elements that have the pine cone on it, some with pine cone and Lisios, but these are branding, right? I'm trying to brand into people's mind my business. So when they see that little pine cone and cursive letters in a circle, it goes right into, oh, that's Steve. That's Steven right there. That's his real estate business. Branding, right? Where they can see a picture and know exactly what's going on with it. You know, I might change mine. I might I might add something different to it. Question.
Is it on your shoulder blade or is it somewhere else?
What?
I'm just assuming it's
No, it's not. It's not. It's right here, actually. See it peek up?
there we go.
No, this is not tattooed on me anywhere. It is my last name. My branding is my last name, so I do have to. I don't really have a choice with that. So I get to brand myself in everything I do. The videos and files, to be honest, there is no function in these. And so we'll see at some point if we get some functionality in videos and files that we can save in here. But right now you can save them. You can't really do anything with them up here. We also have the My Designs tab, which is just another way to look at all your different designs. If you start really getting involved with this, you can get into different folders and really build this out. The folders don't go into command. They're just going to show you a smattering of everything in command. So if you have as many designs as I have, it starts to get pretty tedious to get through 300 different designs that you've done. And so folders can be extremely helpful for certain things, like holiday is a great one to have. Design holiday ones and drop them in there so that next year, when the holiday comes around, you're not searching for 12 months back of designs, being like, where's my Halloween designs from last year? You can just come drop them in that folder and be like, oh, Halloween 2021. The one thing that the command side does have is a search bar now, which is awesome for this. Oh yeah, we do have a search bar in here too. So I can look in here. Let's see if I have any. On Halloween, there's a few Halloween ones that popped up. You can see I didn't design those. Those are Keller Williams gave me those, and all I did was just drop my logo on the Keller Williams one on that. Oh, I love them. I think they're great. Purple's my favorite color, so I was happy to see them drop those purple ones. Yeah. All right, lots and lots and lots and lots of talk. Are we ready to design something? Let's design something. So we're going to go back into templates. And this is the part you guys want to follow along with. We're going to go into templates. And I wanted to show you guys one more, lead generation. One of my favorite folders is the lead generation folder for the different things in here, but specifically holiday greetings. You're really playing with me like this, huh, man? Okay. Stand by, y'all. Templates, create templates. All right. I believe that first one up there is today. So let's go at that one. It's a perfect one. I believe this is like today. The holiday. Does anybody know how to say that right? I wish Brian was here. He would have known how to say it right. It's the Jewish holiday, Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Yeah, this one, the green one, or any of these. Well, there's a few things that we can go through in here. Let's design one. Dang, they really went all out. We normally don't see this many. You see our Labor Day ones. If you didn't, there's Labor Day posts in here as well. I missed that one though. And I don't know what Relevation Day or Relaxation Day. How dare they? All right, let's just use this first one. I'm going to talk about a few different design elements. Pretty simple to use. Actually, do you guys want to do this one, or do you guys want to do like an open house one? I don't care. Are you guys still in print? You're still in print.
What do you want to do?
Usually if you just click at the top, if you click on assets and then go back into templates, it usually will open it up where every template is social print. But what do you guys want to see? Holiday design or more like an open house one? Holiday? It's something you guys are going to leave with, so I want to give you guys something that you're going to utilize. Holiday is nice because I can give you guys that without like a specific listing or anything like that, and teach you guys a little bit about the design process. But if we do want to do this holiday, you want to put it out today, or you can try the Labor Day one and put it out a day later if you'd like. You can see there's the tall ones for your stories. put that up. I don't think anybody's going to notice that you're a day late. They'll just assume that your story is a little later. But if I want to use this template, all I have to do is just click use in the corner. And this one's pretty simple. There's not a lot of editing to do on the holiday ones usually. It's usually just replacing images and making sure that you're branded. That's it, branding, branding, branding. Because we want to make sure that our legal branding is in there. We need our DBA logo for your market center. And then you also want to make sure that your personal branding is in there. And so for this one, I'm going to heavily rely on my assets that we talked about before. If I click in here, I can see in my images, my assets, there's all those photos that you saw before. So if I want to put a nice little Steven in there, I can put my face in there. I prefer not to do it on the holiday ones. And usually I go with one of my elemental logos. And there's two ways to drop a logo in. You can see if I click on the logo actually, and it jumps right over to my logos, and I can just switch that one in. Logo's a little small for the placement. I think I want to go into something a little bit different. And I'm going to use one of my elements instead. And so that one, I can't switch it out, so I'll just add this one in. You can see when I click the plus sign over here, it will just jump right over into my image, right in the center, and I have to resize it. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see quite on Zoom. Let me see what it looks like on there. Can you guys see the blue lines showing up on the screen? Those are some guidelines that help you center your photos, align it with edges of other pieces of the image. So if I move it over and I wanted to get onto the edge of, that's on the edge of that, whatchamacallit, that honeycomb dipper. And we can see it centers in through here. That's the center of some stuff. And there's our center about there. It also works right and left, up and down. It can be really helpful to aid in your designs. Another pro tip is that you can actually use your up, down, and right, left keys on your computer to help you really, really place that specifically. So if I hold those down, or if I hold shift and press over, I can also jump, I believe it's 10 pixels at a time, instead of having to jump 1 pixel at a time by one single press down. Oh, pro tip for you guys. Now, if we want to edit text in here, one of the best ways to edit text, and the only way I'll do it, is through the typewriter tool. You can sit there and double, triple click into the text. And I don't like doing that because often you end up clicking and moving it, or shifting a design, or moving something right behind it. And then your elements and different design pieces are kind of thrown off. And like I said, these are made by professionals. And so the placement of a background box or the placement of certain pieces of text are purposeful and are there for a reason. Try your best not to change them in terms of that, their positioning, their font size. Those are there for a reason in those ways. And so try and match it as best as possible. But the typewriter tool is up here at the top. If you find your font size, just to the right of the font size dropdown gives you your typewriter tool. And you have to be clicked into a text to see it. But now you can see on there, I can actually edit this text very easily through this menu here. And that's really what I want, or I encourage you guys all to use for editing text. It will save you so much time. And if you want another hint, copy and paste things in here. Edit it in something like Microsoft or a Notepad or Google Docs. Make your little piece in there and then just drop it in here. Remember, there's no font or formatting in this typewriter menu. It's a typewriter. I think just letters and spaces and enters, page breaks, whatever you want to call them.
So it'll respond to all of the other files.
It'll just paste in the, if you're like copying and pasting in from a different font, it'll just bring in the text, like a text file, style text. And then font and all that, you can see is controlled at the top. So we have our font menu, font size, and then we can also drag corners to resize. So one important thing about photos, or about text boxes, real quick, text boxes, you have two options. The corners are circles, the edges are ovals. If I pull a circle, you'll see that it actually changes the entire size of my image, of my text. If I grab the oval changes the field of text. And so if I bring it smaller, you're gonna see the adjustment in the field of text where I'm shortening the field of how long the text can go out there. But notice the font does not change sizes. when I grab that circle on the side. And so just be aware of that when you're editing text across the board. The circle is to change the field of text, where the corner is to change the size of the text, the actual size in there. Boom, put it right in the center. Am I missing anything? Yes. Exactly. I have to put on my legal branding here if I want to make sure to stay compliant. And in Colorado, that means you have to have your brokerage logo on your marketing pieces. And so our brokerage logo, you should all have. It's the kind of ugly one. This one right here. And so that, I'm going to just tuck that in top corner. Call it good. Little basic stuff about designs. Jen, do you have a question? Yes, it does. So if you guys didn't hear that question, Jen asked, does our brokerage logo need to have the words, each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated? The answer is yes. If you're using the logo that you see on my screen, that is that bottom piece that you can't read, but it's there. Now, there is another logo that they've been sending out recently that does not have that piece, that just says Keller Williams Realty Downtown. It's a lot wider and shorter. You can use that, but you still have to include that text somewhere in your design. And I find when it's like this, I just like to use the one that has everything tucked into the corner and call it good. Because I don't think anybody's going to be really calling me out on it, and it's there if they do, just because they can't read it. I'm not too concerned about it. That one I believe is loaded up. Let me think. I think we go to logos, we go to workspace, and is it in the miss? Does it have to be? No. Choice. I believe so, because I believe equal opportunity is at the brokerage level that they have requirements for that. You are not a brokerage, right? You are a broker, a part of a brokerage, which their responsibility is to have that stuff on the brokerage website. We don't have a brokerage personally. This is how I understand it. If you have more questions, ask Justin. Yeah, I just have to give you that precursor. But if you do want to include fair housing and equal housing opportunity options, I think it's a good idea. They do have some in here, and that's in the, I'm in logos, workspace, and there's a few different ones, right? If you want some general KW emblems, they have a whole slew of them in here without anything about any brokerage, or excuse me, market center specifically. Have a bunch of different stuff you can use in here. Come on, workspace. Let me go back. All right. Any questions about the designs right now? I want to show you guys how to rename and bring them out, and then we will move on. I'm not seeing anything pop up in the chat. Are we good on Zoom, guys? All right. Thank you, Ursa. I appreciate the responses. All right. So first things first, before we bring these out, we want to rename them. If you don't do this at the beginning, please rename your design. And we're just going to call this Shanatova 2021. Make it nice and simple. Yes. Ask that again. You have it in there. I promise. I promise it's in there. My command is no different than yours. I am an agent as well. I don't use a demo account, and I don't use a labs account. So my command is the same as yours. What you get is what I get. So if it's in mine, it's in yours. You just go back in. So go to designs, go all the way back out in command, go to designs and click social. When you hit create a design, you click social, and then it should be. All right. Where was I? Oh, yes, naming and downloading. So we can share this out as a link. I don't use this very often, but you can do it. You click that share button. Come on. There we go. We can share this with this link here. You can bring it out, test it out yourself. I always like to look at these links before I do anything with them by just copying, pasting, and going into another tab. And that's what it looks like if somebody clicks out. I don't really use these for single designs like this. I utilize the links when I'm doing something that has multiple pages and I want to keep it digital, i.e. your listing presentation, marketing presentations, your e-zine that's inside of Command. All of that is great to use these links, but just wanted to display that for you guys, though I don't normally use them. Just make sure if you're doing a multiple page project, click on project to share it, not this design, because this design shares the one page you're on. The project will share an entire project. And cool, we even have a couple of different options now of what people can do when they see it. That's new, they just put that in. But really, I download most of my designs. Just bring them onto your device, download them, then you upload them back in to use them on your phone or on your tablet or on Facebook. And how are we doing on time? 11:01? No. All right. So we have a couple different ways we can save it. For social media, I generally go with JPEG, keeps it small enough, keeps the quality high enough for most phones and everything, that you'll be just fine with JPEG. You can keep the quality normal, and then you just click download. You're gonna see that. Now give it a moment here. This is the place that you need patience in Command, because at the top you can see it saying preparing, and the wheel is turning. If I exit right now, nothing's gonna download. I have to wait until it actually, go ahead. Oh, it did download it down at the bottom. Until it actually downloads to my Chrome browser. I see it go in there. You'll see it say downloading. It'll say preparing, and downloading. Then it'll say download complete. And that's what you want to see. Because if you exit this page in that preparing stage, nothing will download. It won't do it in the background. It will just exit out and cancel the function. So make sure to be patient. A lot of times you'll hit download and then just want to jump over to done. You won't get anything that way. See it down at the bottom. And then we have a nice JPEG that we can utilize. It's on our device now. We can take that, put it into social medias. We can take it and do all kinds of stuff with it. Whatever we'd like. Print it if you'd like. If you want to print them, do an open house flyers. I print a lot of those in the open house section. I'll use those and just print them out upstairs, right at the printer, and go from there. All right, Command demo. Any questions about designs in general? I know I'm sure you guys all have like specific, how do you do this, how do you do that? Those are.
Once we do our marketing profile, we'll have most of that, like the elevators down.
That one will load up if you load it into your marketing profile. Yes. I think your headshot will too. Yeah. All right. So let's get out of designs and let's go back into, let's see how I do with my presentation. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
You know, pay attention to our time on it, you can spend all day on some stuff. And you want to realize because it uses it to find your brain, you want to start to lose track of time if you're doing dramas or whatever. And we talk about that.
How to like avoid?
Well, obviously you love design. I love design too. At the same time, spend too much time on Sean Dover. What are you not doing with your time when you're doing that?
Absolutely. And that's, I would say, one of the things, if you didn't hear me say it before, I'll repeat it. Leave the designs as they are. Change the important stuff. If it says just sold and you want it to be, just listed, because there's both of them in there, but you can change them. Change it and stick to the design. Like I loved what you said earlier. Dave said earlier, have standards of your designs. And one of your standards should be like, hey, if I'm doing a post that's just going to go up on my stories, I shouldn't spend more than 2 minutes designing it. That's going to go away in 24 hours. There's no reason to. If I'm going to have a marketing piece that I'm going to print and put on every single marketing thing that I do, I might spend an hour. I might even outsource that and say, let me have a professional do it at this point. So they can spend a few hours on it and I can spend $100 on it for them to do it, 200, 300. Again, design is not cheap. Design is not cheap. So I don't know why this won't go away.
Right, exactly. And it takes time. And it's either your time doing it or someone else's time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess I just wanted to bring that up. I got caught up with a little bit of an open house fire that, one of my mentors was saying, you know what, you can fiddle with that all day long, but if that is the time where you make sure you balance.
Absolutely. I love that.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, it's a tool, it's already there. If you can, I can do a lot with that, but I don't have time to do that.
I think we lost our Zoom, folks.
Oh, no.
What happened? Are you guys still there? On one screen it says yes, one screen it says no.
Oh, we're
guys-
here. I can hear you.
What do you see on your screen? What are you guys looking at?
Designs that are saved.
Okay. All right, guys. Again, I appreciate all of your patience with this technology. Zoom is not quite ready to have everything going on that we do with multiple screens and sharing, but we are jumping back into our presentation. So let me share that with you guys. You should be seeing my, I'm hoping you guys are seeing our Take Action, Create, and Post Marketing Materials in Command page. Can I get a confirmation from you guys? You're looking at that PDF or
Yes.
that PowerPoint? Excellent, excellent. Whew. All right, now we're going to take a look at some designs, because one of the best ways to learn about design is to look at designs, different designs. And we're going to look at some different designs that were actually created by agents in Keller Williams with the templates and design, just like you guys would be able to do. And so, oh, I forgot that button doesn't work. We already did our design. And so I want you guys to take a look on your screen or on the screens in front of you at the design that we have up here. And I want to just first ask, what do you think is the purpose of this design? Advertising. I hear open house. An invitation to an open house, even more specifically. Is there any other purpose for this marketing piece? I love that. Some brand recognition, she said. I definitely agree. There's some branding going on here.
Showcase of product.
Showcase of product. I love that. Get all the people. That's spectacle. All right. How could we improve this? So many things. Dan, give me one way you would improve this. Square footage, more info. Love it. More info. What else? How else could we improve it? QR code. Send them right over to my link. How about on Zoom land? What do you guys think? How could we improve this design? Go ahead and unmute or jump in the chat. I love that. For those on Zoom, if you didn't hear that, Tyler was saying that the contrast between like the background gray and some of the image is a little too close, you said, so it kind of blends a little bit, and you don't or do like it? He does not like that. So maybe increase different colors. Ooh, I see somebody in the chat. Ooh, let me try and pull this over to me. All right, chat. Kendra says yes. Ooh, she says, I don't see contact info. That's a good point. All right. That's a little one that we all missed here. These are all fantastic things to be thinking about. Why would we want it bigger, Jen? It's more important. The relevant information should be displayed clear, right? And you're invited. I do like the you're invited being pretty big, but I agree. If we know we want to put them or get them somewhere, our point is openness, right? That's what we all kind of said in the end, is that we're displaying the house or the open house that we're going to be complete. You love what? And you're talking about this one, right? Not this one, the Keller Williams Partners one. I like the partners piece personally, but I agree with Day that the logo is, for that placement, they didn't use the right logo. Right? It's too small for that placement. If they're going to tuck it in the corner, that's why I have, the pine cone and then the pine cone with the Lisios, then the full thing. Pine cone with the Lisios that says property services. All of it into one piece. That's my full logo, but it's so easy. If I try and put it into a corner like that, it looks okay up here, but if that was a 4x6 postcard, how big would their pictures even be? Could you even get the detail on their face on if they tuck their picture in a 4x6? Could be, but we don't know. We don't know that, Jen. You're kind to give, let's see, this was designed by Josie Ambrose. I don't know what Keller Williams she's at, but you're kind to Josie. Let's talk about another one. How about this one? Let's take a look here. Who do you think the intended audience is on this one? Who's this for? Gem Heights. What do you mean? It's for the residents of Gem Heights? I love that. Is that the only person who this is for? Sellers? Sellers where? In Gem Hill? Is that what it's called? Sorry, that's not what it's called. Gem Heights. Anyone else? From the chat, sellers and buyers interested in Gem Heights. I love that. Buyers interested in Gem Heights. You don't have to live in Gem Heights to want to live in Gem Heights. You might find this information quite interesting. Any other people this might be for? Investors. Like that answer too. How'd you get this to the people that we're talking? How would we get it to the residents of Gem Heights? What's one way to get it? Just marketing to them. Jen said a title or lender. Title company or a lending company. In what way?
People that were here last week, we looked like a company that we could buy.
Yeah, so you could buy the list for Gem Heights, right? And then do what? Well, so we're gonna text it to all of them? Are we gonna email it? Are we gonna direct mail it? Are we gonna go and knock on each door and say, Mr. Whoever and Mrs. Whoever, hey, this is my thing. I want to talk to you about it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna leave it here.
Looks like an email.
Looks like an email? Yes? Is there a wrong way to send this out? It's up to you. Some things are more time intensive. Some things are more money intensive in the way that you want to bring this out. If you're going to print 100 up here at the office and then go hand deliver each one of them by door knocking that neighborhood, it's a lot more of a prospecting and marketing activity. I love when they come into both. But you can also just direct mail this out to everybody in Gem Heights. Like kind of Jen was getting to. We can get a list of everybody who lives in Gem Heights, get their addresses, and mail this postcard to every single one of them. There are many ways that we can connect with different people and different marketing, but remember, we have to make sure our marketing is appropriate for what we're doing. So knowing our audience, which if you haven't, from this one, I want you guys to know who your intended audience is for your marketing. Keep that in mind. Who is your intended audience? And how are you going to distribute it to that audience? Simple questions to ask yourself while you're designing. Who is my intended audience? How will I get it out to them? Sometimes you have to get more info. Sometimes everybody's in your database. You have all their addresses, phone numbers, emails. It's easy. Just go in there and click a couple buttons in Command and you can get this out. Maybe we text it. Maybe you text it to a select few people. Lots of ways, lots of ways. Let's take another look. How about this one? Soak this one in a little bit. I don't know if you guys, well, I know you guys can't see it on Zoom, but I can't see you guys either. Everybody in here, though, just has like a funny look on their face when they're looking at this one. Why do you guys don't like this one or something? How many people can see some things that they would improve on this one? You guys like it back there in the corner? This one I'm like. It's pretty busy. I got issues with some of the colors. It's hard to read some of these things. That's just, you put a picture of a hill and it says just listed. Guys, we gotta pay it, like, what does that tell the client? Besides, you didn't pay attention to what you were doing. I mean, 15K vacant lot, but what a miserable picture. Even for a lot. There's lots of things that we can say is wrong with this one. And on this one, is this a successful piece of marketing?
How long are you looking at it?
How long are you looking at it?
You know, seriously, it's like you said earlier, it's like, I spend 2 minutes on this and it's a piece of one time, or it's something that people are going to
Stick to their fridge. Yeah, is this something that we're going to magnet to our fridge and keep it because we love it? Or is this, like you said, is this just a drive-by billboard for social medias where they're going to see it once, slide on by, maybe give you the digital high five, hit the like button and move on? I do want to mention that this is an excellent example, though, of what Dave talked about earlier, with social proof. Social proof where you could email this out. That was mentioned in the chat. I see you guys on Facebook, Francisco. I see you out there. But we could email this out, which is I think this wouldn't be too bad of a placement for digital. Digital placements that are quick, fast. It's not too bad. Like I said, I have some issues with the colors and stuff, but if this can take you 5 minutes to do and you can take another 5 minutes to email it out and you take 10 minutes total to communicate with 500 people in your database, I say it's worth it.
So are they doing this stuff on digital? Because there's no contact information. So it's message or comment.
What stuff on digital?
Because there's not a lot of these details. This is more of a digital piece.
Let me see if I have any explanation on this.
You're only seeing that for like 10 seconds. What are you learning from it?
I would choose better wording.
What's that?
I would choose better wording instead of it's all details.
I love it. You guys are all getting into like critique mode right now of like, let's fix this design.
Yeah.
Not our conversation right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what,
I want you guys to focus on what makes a design successful. We obviously know none of you guys would probably put this out on any piece because you're uncomfortable with it. I saw all your faces when I put it on the board. That's okay. Sorry, put it on the screen. It's okay to not like designs and be like, that's not my brand. That's not my look, my aesthetic. It is not consistent with my aesthetic. If every week I put out a just listed, just something like that, just sold, just sold, just sold, or 3 pieces like that, and it always looked like this, do you think that would be successful? If every time it looked like this and I had enough business to change the pictures out, put a quick social proof, just listed, pending. Could that be successful? If it's consistent, if it's real, you know, if I'm not making up the houses I'm listing, I would say partner with folks in that case. If you don't have the listings, partner with folks and say, hey, I have this group, I want to do this, can I advertise your listing on the email campaign I do every week? Sure thing. There's so many agents that they'd be like, yeah, I'd love for you to market my listing for me for free. Sure, go for it. But you do need written permission a lot of the times if they're not yours. So the listing's not yours, and that could be a quick email. Text message is like Some lawyers will be like, no, if you ever got in a hot water around it, text message didn't count as writing. So if you want to be for sure, I use an email. I'll text the agent, say, hey, here's the address. I'm going to do this marketing on it. Is that okay with you? And your seller. It has to be okay with the seller, not the agent. Ask them. They say yes. Ask them real quick. Hey, come on, just send me a quick email that gives me explicit permission to do so. And almost always they're like, yep, no problem.
If you're going to do an open house for a agent, is all that permission you talked about already?
No. You should get it in writing. It might be assumed that even from the listing side, right? They might assume that you're getting to do an open house. So of course you can market it. I don't think a real estate lawyer or a lawyer would agree with that. If a seller was ever, because here's the issue. Seller sees their marketing stuff, you're putting it up on a bunch of your social media stuff. They see it and they said, I don't say that can happen. I didn't tell you you could put my thing on Instagram, my house and my address and all that on Instagram. I didn't approve that. And the listing agent goes, but they were running an open house for you. How are they supposed to? They're like, I don't care. Figure it out a different way. I've never had to do social media before in my life. Why do I have to have my house on Facebook now? Where you can see some people would get legitimately upset about that. If it was a surprise to them, somebody sends them a screenshot of, their house on Facebook when they're like, I don't do Facebook. That could get some people heated, lose contracts for it. So that's why we have to get it in writing to make sure that you as the agent that's outside of this, that doesn't have a contract with that person, doesn't get mixed into this, that says, hey, I have permission from the listing agent to do this. Here's my written permission. And that's exactly what the commission asked for, is written permission. Great question. Love it. Love it. So to wrap up kind of all this, my last question here is, what do you think you want to keep in mind when you're designing these designs? What do you need to keep in mind? Or some of the things we should keep in mind while making this. Jeff, you have to wait though, because you're a design professional. You already know the things to keep in mind.
No. I'm serious.
What do we need to keep in mind? I've already heard you guys say a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go back to what Dave said just to start it off. Standards. Have standards for your designs, which means consistency. What else? What else do we need to keep in mind? I mentioned one thing. I even said to write it down. Audience. Who's my audience for this design? When I'm designing it, who's my audience? What else? Besides audience, we need to know what's the other thing with audience. Who's it? Who are we going to make this for? And how do we get it to them? Who and how? Who is my audience? How am I getting this to them? Because I design differently for email templates or email pictures than I design for online, which is different than how I design for an ad. There's rules to ads and stuff. They're one of the hardest designs to do because there's rules. You have to abide by those rules, else Facebook says, you can't run this ad. It goes against our guidelines. They love their guidelines. Okay. I don't know if I want to do this next activity or if we want to move on. We only have about 20, 35 minutes left, I believe. And I want to make sure we get to the final activity in here that a little bit outside of kind of the design stuff, but I think it's a really important part about talking about marketing. Because marketing is an important piece, but what does marketing have to go hand in hand with? Our P word, prospect. Marketing and prospect. And so I'll give you guys the choice. Do you want to see what the class has to talk about with the daily habits that we talked about at the beginning, or I mentioned that success list? Or do you guys want to see me do some examples in campaigns and contacts? I can do one or the other, but not both with the 35 minutes we have left. If you in Zoom land have any kind of input on that, please jump into the chat and let me know if you'd like to see the success list or campaigns and contacts. I'll tell you, campaigns and contacts is going to be very direct lecture and stuff. You guys can follow along. It's going to be a lot of me talking. Where the success list is a lot more of you guys doing stuff, writing, creating a list, talking about daily habits of an agent. I find that to be a lot more useful for agents. Great reminder. I got 1 vote for contacts and command.
I think the only thing I would use is seeing the smart plan for this year.
Smart plans are outside of this realm of this class.
Just use the definition of what it is.
Sure. So to command a campaign is communicating with a group of people in a systematic way. So for instance, campaigns inside of command, we can do a direct mail campaign. We can do a paid social media campaign. We can do a social media post, and we can do both emails. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. Oh. So campaigns are just lead generation strategies that you're doing, right? So one would be easy campaign to run. I just listed a home. I'm gonna send that just listed email to everybody in there. I'll go through campaigns for that. If I wanna run a Facebook ad, or I'm gonna run an ad to everybody in Pueblo for my listing that is in Pueblo. I wanna do that, okay? Campaigns for that. If I want to send out a birthday card, just one, to one person, I can go into campaigns, direct mail, and send one birthday card, or I can send the open house flyer to a whole neighborhood of everybody who has a house that they've lived in for over 10 years in the neighborhood. I'm going to send 100 people that template. All of these campaigns, you can be done inside of the campaign. Is that cleared up? Another question about campaigns. Yes. Campaigns,
The golden letter is
I think overall, it is a marketing campaign, right? And you're direct mailing out a letter to a bunch of folks. I think it's a direct mail campaign. Executing that through command is not what I would recommend. It's not built for enveloped letters, that's why. It's built for postcard distribution in command for now. We might get envelope letters, but I've always found the golden letter to be effective if it's actually like, looks like a letter, not a piece of marketing material, because the golden letter works when it's authentic. When you actually have buyers and people interested in that area, that it's not just a marketing ploy, because the same postcards that we mentioned at the beginning of what I get all the time are those postcards, right? Ones that I don't have any intention to do anything but throw away. Because it's just a postcard. But a letter, I'll actually open up a letter and be like, what is this? Right? And read it. Instead of just being like, boop, great, you have buyers, cool. So do I. Everybody does in this market. All right. So we still don't have a clear answer of campaigns. I know we had some questions. Context, not too much in there. Let's see. All right. Well, I guess we're going to jump into campaigns. You guys want to see a little bit of it? Or do we want to move on to the success? I'm telling you guys, the success list is way cooler. But
yeah.
well, we did get to go over a little overview. Did I miss any? Quick posts, social posts, direct. Quick posts and social posts are the same thing. They're just posting to your business page. Paid ads, you pay for those Facebook ads. Emails, we have a great email campaign generator, but right now, you want to use smart plans to do that, to send out emails. If you have questions, talk to me personally. If you want to do email campaigns, get on my 30 minutes. We can knock out a really nice campaign in 30 minutes, easy. Direct mail, talked about that one. Social posts go onto your business page. You cannot post to your Facebook personal page through command. Quick posts are those same kind of posts that command builds for you. Picture and text. They're already in there. Quick post, click, scheduled, post. Easy, easy, easy. I've done a few different tidbits on that. I've talked about it during the morning stand-ups. I've done a lot of that. So if you have questions about that or how to get into the quick posts, they're super simple, super easy. You see one up on the screen right now. All right. So if we had the full 4 hours, we might actually go through and create some of these posts. I would be happy to create these with you on those 30-minute meetings. In fact, I might even do a quick class next week. That might be part of our classes, doing some Monday's class. Would you guys show up if I did that on Monday? Yes, cool. We'll do that on Monday. Do a little campaign stuff. I will say, I like to have agents in a lot of your positions, newer agents, to not use campaigns for paid ads. There's a lot of reasons, but the biggest one is that most new agents don't know how to follow up with Facebook ads in an effective way. And I can teach you how to put 100 leads into your account, and you'll pay $120 for that. And then not one of them will convert because you don't know how to convert. That's okay. That's why you start with your database. And why I encourage you to start with your database for making those calls and learning how to follow up with your database first. People who know you, like you, trust you. You can talk to them already, learn those systems. But we know that follow-up is so important. And with ads and things like that, making a paid ad, I don't suggest it as newer agents, not yet. If you have a listing, we'll talk about how to utilize it, how to utilize the paid ads in certain ways. But unless you know how to, get on those phones and start converting Facebook leads over a 12-month period, which is the average time it takes to close an online lead like that, go for it. But remember, it takes 12 months to close most of those people, a full year. I think it's like 9 to 12 is the average. 9 to 12 months for most Facebook leads. So if you're not ready to follow up with somebody for 9 months straight, I would say do not use Facebook ads. Not yet. It's a tough follow-up, but we know how important it is. There's even words like or phrases like the fortune is in the follow-up. All that. You guys turn to page, I believe it's 6 on your, yes. Go ahead and turn to page 6. And I think I'm way behind in my guide. There we go. There it is. So the goal of Ignite in general is to help you think, feel, and act, and use what you've actually learned in Ignite. And so you guys will see on page 6, your nice little chart on here. One of Keller Williams' favorite things is the ahas. And I just want you guys to go through real quick, put one aha, just one, in each box for thinking, feeling, actions, and the last one, the different tools. Just put, it doesn't even have to be a full sentence, just in interest of time so we can keep this moving. Go ahead and put one thing down in each of those boxes, write one thing down. All right, yes. See a few people wrapping up theirs right now. We have somebody maybe from Zoom land. Share, how has your thinking changed throughout this class? Nobody? How about in here? How's your thinking changed? I didn't change one person's thinking today.
I said, to just really pay attention to my target audiences.
I love that. Who are you talking to? I was once told that real estate and just about any job breaks down to really two simple questions. Who we talk to, what we say to them. That's it. You can nail that down, who you're talking to, who you want to talk to, and what you're going to say to them. That's all this business is. All any business is. I love that, Dave. Any other thinking changes, or how about our hearts? Anybody get a change in their feeling about anything, about marketing, about prospecting, about anything we've talked about? Any change of heart? Feelings. Ooh, somebody put in consistency is key in everything real estate. Anybody else agree with that one? For sure, definitely. Just getting up at the same time every morning can be a difficult consistency to match, but pretty important. Pretty important in this business is to get out of bed regularly, same time.
Stephen, I put on there, one of the lines that you said that is really resonating with me is customers are where you look for them. I think that's pretty powerful.
Love that. Thank you. Love it. How about actions? How will your behaviors be different going forward? This is really important. I hope everybody put something down in this category. And if you didn't, listen close and put something down in this one, because honestly, this is what changes your business. Coming to a class and going out and doing the things you learned, not just thinking and feeling about them. Because that's what most people do in a class, is they think and feel about it and never take any steps forward. So what are some steps? What are some things? Love it. So on Zoom, Dave said creating a plan, it sounded like, for social media posts. I'm guessing that is for, and putting them out there with the scheduling functions that we have, so he doesn't have to do it every single day. Being more purposeful with design, engagement, and messaging. That's from Francisco in the chat saying, oh, I love that. Being more purposeful with design. That's what this whole class is about. It's being purposeful with your design or your marketing pieces. Love it. Love it. How about the last one? What tools, models, or systems will you use now? How will they make you more accountable? They already mentioned one. It's going to be scheduling stuff. Inside of Command, really easy to schedule posts for an entire month out if you want. You can do it weekly. You can do it monthly if you want to, even more than that. You can schedule all those posts out. And so that's a great tool. What other tools can we use? Talked about one for a while. Command. They got it on there. What part of Command, Francisco? Designs is a great tool to use for marketing, I promise you. It will make it easier. Some people like to go into Canva. Some people like to go and do this, that, and the third. Canva is not built for real estate. Designs is. Designs is built for us, for unprofessionals that know better than me what they should be looking like. And that's why we use them. That's why I encourage you to edit the designs. Do not change them. Unless you're a professional and you want to go at it, you have the patience to make your design from scratch, I can show you how. Most agents should not be spending the time to make designs from scratch. It does not make sense for nearly anything you do when you have hundreds of professional templates to utilize. Utilize them. That is a tool. Not getting in your head about, what does this look like? What are people going to think about me? Pick your branding. Be consistent. You can pivot in the future if you need to stop posting the thing you posted every single week for a few weeks, and you're like, I don't want to do the market update anymore because I hate numbers. I don't know why I did it in the first place. And then you start posting about your dog every week, and you're like, I freaking love posting about my dog, and I get a bunch more engagement because I like to do that. And when we talk about authenticity and all these things across the board, if you don't like doing it, you won't be consistent with it. If you're not authentic about it, you won't be consistent. Or, again, you're going through the path of grit instead of the path of grace when you're trying to do things that you don't like doing. If you're successful with them and they're bringing you business and that's why you're doing them, we'll see how long the consistency will last with that. Because again, it's very difficult to be consistent if your authenticity isn't there. Gosh, I hate open houses, but I do one every week. You probably won't even last in this business because you're torturing yourself. And the whole reason I think a lot of us got into this was so that we got to choose how to torture ourselves at work instead of somebody else. We get to choose our path here. And your path of marketing should be the same as your path in real estate. It should be comfortable, graceful, and you. It is about you. But you have to figure that out. You have to find your value proposition. You have to identify and define your branding so someone else doesn't do it for you when they see your stuff. You guys have to do that. All right, end rant. Not going to talk anymore about the branding. We're going to go on. Oh, come on, computer. There we go. We're going to talk about our daily success habits. As our habits go as an agent, we have 5 days in a week that we are expected to work. Most of us will work 6. Some of us even work 7. It's a grind, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to work 7 days a week to get to our goals. But we have a certain amount of time to work, and we only have a certain amount of energy to work, and so many of us use some kind of list to help us organize our days. And this is one of my favorite slides of the whole class. If you don't write down anything else in this class, I hope you write down this page, because what it says at the top is absolutely true. Goals to set your career on fire. If you want to set your career on fire, this is it. This simple page, they call it 10-4. No giggles on that one, 10-4? 10-4, that's good, buddy. But it's very simple. I see some folks writing it, so I won't go into too much detail, but what it says, these are daily. 10 contacts added. 10 conversations a day. 10 handwritten notes. 10 previews per week. What you guys are writing, can a more experienced agent define what a preview is? So I just like walk to my neighbor's house and go, did a preview. No. What does it mean by a home preview here? Could be your phone. Agent showings, a regular showing. We have to remember, Dave, we're not just in social media world, right? We can do a preview in person, one-on-one with a client or a potential client, right? We can take them out to a home and do a showing. It doesn't have to just be the digital virtual versions of it, though that lets us get in front of a lot of people, right? And a great way to even think about videos when you're making that video, who's my audience when I'm making this preview, right? Who is my audience? How am I getting it out to them? Am I going to take this video and put it on my story? Probably look a little different if I'm going to put it on my timeline. Just in social media terms, right? Because one sticks around for a day, one is permanent on my timeline until I take it off. And so how we create even something as simple as a home preview, we can be intentional about it. Yes, same, I love it. Thank you for reminding me. Same thing goes on anytime you are marketing, which means photos, pictures, talking about something, you need to attribute the listing agent or whatever, or have permission. And permission is the easiest way to go. You don't have to display your permission or anything like that to the public. It will only come if somebody asks you about your due diligence for that. With this one, I'll tell you the first one, 10 contacts added. You can set a daily limit, you can set a weekly limit, but it's adding contacts to your database. Feed the beast. And you gotta feed your database. Add 10 contacts daily, 10 conversations daily. Yes, daily. 10 conversations a day. How can we have those conversations? On the phone, how else can we have these conversations? Text messaging, how else? In person, face to face, love that, old school. How else? There we go, social media messengers. Lots of ways to connect on social media. Anywhere else that we can have conversations? Door to door. There's Zoom meetings, Google meetings, all those different ways that we can have conversations. So don't get yourself stuck to think that those are phone calls. Can they be? Absolutely. They don't have to be. Conversations happen in all kinds of ways in our business. It's about being intentional and saying, I'm going to have 10 text messages or 10 conversations via text. Somebody's saying like good and you. Is that a conversation? It's up to you. If all you get back is good and you, and they don't say anything else, was that one of your 10? Oh, but it's being purposeful. Text messaging is hard for me. I don't like text messaging as mine because they might respond in 2 hours when I'm trying to teach a class, and then I might not respond for another 2 hours, and then they, right? It doesn't fit my daily schedule, but a phone call does. So you get to make your choice on how you'd like to do those, but 10 conversations a day. And so what we're going to do now is I want you guys, keeping this in mind, right? Keeping this in mind, I want you guys to write down, and you can use you can flip over your student guide, and just use the back here. So I want you guys to take a few minutes and create a list of all your daily tasks, just one day. See if you can make it for tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, let's make it real. Let's leave you guys with something important. I want you to write down everything you're going to do in your business tomorrow as a to-do list. And keeping in mind what's on the screen up here. And hopefully, the other things that we talked about today, that you're going to be putting into action from what you've learned today. I hope to see some of those on your list. We're going to kind of reorganize the list too, so don't go crazy thinking about exactly specific this. Know what you need to do. Think about it. Okay, I want some more detail than just what says on board. More specific. So it says 10 contacts. What are you going to actually do? You're going to make calls, or you're going to call 100 people to 10 conversations. Either you're going to do messaging. Be specific in that way, what you're actually going to do. Because if you just say, make 10 conversations happen, you're going to sit there and go, well, how the heck am I supposed to do that? What am I going to do? That's not helping. Still see some folks writing their lists. Let's take about another 30 seconds to 60 seconds to knock out as many additional items you can that you know you need to do tomorrow. You guys have filled into this stance. Nothing. I'm just dancing.
Nothing in mind.
Nothing at all.
You have a particular genre you like to dance?
Probably hip hop. I'm gonna dance to music.
You have a buddy in Denver that makes music? Is that what you're saying?
A few of them. Yeah. If any of you guys want to know a secret about Jose, he still raps. Jose's the Elevate Ave team leader. He might be having an album come out this year, actually.
Was it the
Uh-huh. Yep. He's good at it too. Been doing it since we're like old high school buddies. We grew up together. So
Oh,
he's been doing it for a while. All right. No more tangents. I'm good at tangents. Let's talk about this list, because now you all should have a list in front of you. And I want to be really clear on the difference between a should do and a to do. A should do are things that align with your goals, things that align with your 135, that increase your authenticity and consistency of your business. Because we know that it's not just marketing that needs consistency and authenticity, it really goes across our whole business. And a to do is something that might be involved with that. A should do is something that you absolutely have to do. That if you didn't do it, you don't feel like you actually worked today. And so what I want you guys to do is take the total number of items that you wrote down on your list, and I want you to prioritize them. The number one most important thing, put a number one next to. The number two most important thing, put a number two next to, and so on and so forth, as you go down your list, and take about 2 minutes to just prioritize. Maybe start at the bottom, least important. What are all my to-dos? And I can just kind of say, these are the last things I'll do. Because to-dos can be put off. Should-dos need to happen. They are the priority. You guys are good over there in Zoom land? We're prioritizing our list. Thank you, Kendra, making sure that I'm trying to run everything fairly on both sides of things. Cut it close. Got another 30 seconds to prioritize our list. Seeing lots of hands on mice, not on pens, so close. All right. Well, some people are finishing. I hope this is kind of just breaking a little bit of like, oh, I don't have to do everything every single day. There are things I need to do every single day. If I'm specific about it, I shouldn't feel as overwhelmed. Because I know as new agents, especially here in Keller Williams, we're awesome at just dumping it on you. Saying, here's how you lead generate. Come do it with us. Come take a class right after. Come and talk about this networking event. Do this open house. Do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. Set up command. Do this, do your brokerage classes. There's so many things. That's why we do a should-do list, a success list. And what I would like is if we could share some of our number one priorities. We're looking at tomorrow now. We wrote a success list for tomorrow. What's the number one thing you guys are going to do tomorrow to make sure that you're running the business the way that you want to run that business? Who wants to start us off? Zoom or in here? Number one priority.
I have made no contact to anybody I know about the fact that I've left this stage. So I guess I don't have my license quite yet, but that's not.
You passed the test?
Yep.
If you passed the test, that's the last hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, I
Financial
agree.
basis.
I just, yeah.
I'll
I
call
don't have
him
my
for
number
you.
yet, but that's not the first thing I have to do. What's that?
I'll call
All right, sweet.
All right, what else? Jeff, what's your number one priority?
I'm going to make it express right. Focus on the right mindset.
Love it. Set that mindset in the morning. Love that. How about Zoomland? What is your guys' first priorities for tomorrow? All right, Zoom. follow up with 10 contacts that are referrals. Dang, you have 10 referrals, Kendra? Good for you. Right on. I love 10 referrals. That's how you make business. Love it. Any other priorities? That sounds like a to-do, not a should-do. A to-do, not a should-do. Say it again. Oh, great. If she said P&L contacts, if that doesn't make any sense for people in here, she's talking about a system called DTD2, do the database to, which means you take 2 letters per week and call everybody with that letter or with one of those 2 letters in that week. And so she's going to call P&L tomorrow. And that's what she meant by that. If that didn't make any sense, she's going to call P&L. Nurturing the seed. Follow up with 10 contacts, nurturing the seed. Love it. All right. We're pretty short on time. We have a few more minutes left. Let me grab just overall, let me grab 1 or 2 ahas from here and at least 1 aha from Zoom. Can I get a verbal aha from somebody on Zoom first? What was 1 aha you guys had from today? That Steven's a really good dancer? Probably not. No, nothing from you?
Don't start Facebook campaigns if you don't know what to say. Like if you don't have 6 months of follow-up.
Love that. Don't go to a Facebook campaign that you're not ready to follow up with. Anyone else? Zoom or in person? Would you guys like to share an overall aha? Jeff?
I'd say you've handled these 6 sales.
Focus, yes. And there's nothing magical about 6, right? That was just an example.
It's a good point. Like, you don't know what you know. It's like,
and you will drive, like, I talk to so many new agents in this office and the other office that are drowning at the beginning. It's because they're trying to do too much and they're not focusing their efforts in the places that will be effective. And yes, you don't know what's going to be effective yet, but I'll tell you, trying to do 10 things will never be as effective as trying to do 2, ever. And so give yourself some ease, pick 2 and go with it. Try it out for the rest of the year and the first 2 of next year, and you'll know. You'll know if you need to pivot. Like, all right, I hate open houses. I hate them. I'm going to try FSBOs. I'm going to call FSBOs and Inspired every day. That could be you. It's not me, but it could be you. Any other ahas? We got 1 slide left. All right. So I need everybody to take their phone out. Go to that. Same thing on Zoom. That'll work just fine on Zoom. Take your phones out, point it at the screen. I'll do the same. This is a survey that I asked you guys all to do for me. I am a trainer inside of Keller Williams. I can only get these reviews on Keller Williams approved classes. So that's why you don't hear me asking for them every Monday for you guys to do these. But this one actually gets sent up to Keller Williams RI to help me get approved as a Keller Williams University approved trainer. Of course, I stepped on the cord and it, okay. But I really hope that you guys go through here and I am not like one of the people who tells you that if it's not a 4 or a 5, choose a different name on the list. Please be honest. Feedback is only useful if it is, in my opinion. I don't really care about the scores that much, but if I get bad reviews, I should become a better teacher or trainer. And so put me in there, no matter what, you'll see name of the facilitator. Oh, it's new now. Sorry. I don't know now. Because yeah, like Mario said, this is new. They changed it up. Go ahead and just put 273 for the market center. That's where we're all at. They probably won't know what that means, so that's okay. There is a little piece in here that I got to tell you guys where to go unless they left that out. Yeah. It's new. There used to be drop down boxes and other stuff. I appreciate seeing you guys all do this. It does help me out. And I truly look at this stuff for myself. And Keller Williams does too. Together on certain things, like their certifications and such. 273 is our market center. If you need to help spelling my name, my last name's a little bit different. You're not the first. It was when I was teaching, because I found it pretty appropriate to go by Mr. Delicious, is what students and some people like to call me.
Really?
Yeah, but you were high school kids that I think it's pretty.
I hear you.
Yeah, so it's always been a little weird.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It is. It's really close to like the sound of what it sounds like in other languages. Lisio, so it's almost like it.
I mean, is Lisio, is that Italian or is it Spanish?
Italian. When you guys are, well, just to wrap up, I see you guys are on your surveys, and I appreciate that. But if I can leave you guys with anything, it is what I started with. Consistency and authenticity in your marketing or across your business is what will make you successful. That's it. I hope you get that out of today. I hope today helped. If you guys need help with these commands or have questions about how do I do this, you talked about it in class, that is exactly why I have those 30-minute meetings. Please jump on my schedule, get with me, make sure that we have some time together, and schedule a few of them out. Schedule out this week, next week, the week after that, the week after that. We will work on projects 30 minutes a week or an hour a week for the rest of the year. That is how you get good, because again, consistency is important, especially in learning. And so please jump in there. I hope you guys got a lot out of this today. I enjoyed teaching you all. Thank you so much. I hope to see you guys all soon in the office and at all of our different events. Let's see, here's the link to the drop-down ones. Oh, the old one. Thank you, Francisco. I might use that. That's all I had for you guys today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this time. I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Oh, I can stop the recording. Oh, that's not stopping.
Thanks, Steven.
You're welcome, Kendra. Thank you.